Hey, this is Christian, and today I want to talk about degrees and if you need a degree to land your first job in tech. All right, I was chilling on my couch and I was thinking about this for quite some time because a few people asked me either on LinkedIn or on Facebook if you need a degree to land your first job in tech. Well, I'm gonna give you the short answer, which is no, and I'm gonna give you the long answer, okay? So let's think about it. Let's rationalize this whole process. What do people want? People want to have their problems solved, all right? And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you have a degree or not, right? To a certain extent. Some companies like Google, like Facebook, like Amazon will probably require a degree from you at least if you are looking to get your first job in tech like that. But if you want to be just a web developer, just a front-end developer, just a full-stack developer, you don't need a degree, right? You need to know how to solve problems, okay? So taking that out of the way, let's talk about this. What kind of projects do you need? Because your portfolio is gonna be the key to the castle when it comes to landing your first job in tech, okay? In your portfolio, you should have just one app. Just one app, that's enough. I see a lot of people that have like a lot of applications, like the weather app, the movie app, or to-do app with React and Redux. And while that's cool, it doesn't show much. It doesn't show much about your skill set, all right? It shows that you have a bunch of exposure, but you don't have enough experience. And that's why if you are trying to apply right now, that's why people are not calling you, all right? That's why people are not interested in your skills, because to be fair, you don't have any. And you don't have an idea of what's actually needed to land your first web dev job. You don't really know exactly what kind of projects to build, right? Probably you are searching on YouTube like 5 best project ideas for beginner developers to get hired, and you are probably seeing Amazon clones or movie clones and stuff like that, which are nice, they are good to have, but they're not really exactly the thing that employers are looking for, right? You're not gonna build another Amazon clone. You have to build some sort of an application from scratch. And I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. There are 2 types of apps that I've seen working since I've been coaching people, and those are data-driven apps, which means you should have charts, graphs, things like that, rows, columns, like in a table, something along those lines. And the second type of app is a media-driven app. So you'll be using images, videos, things of that nature. You should have a bunch of pages in your application, so maybe 3, 4, 5 pages, depending on what kind of application are you making. You should have a Redux store, and you should understand why you need the Redux store. The way I do it with my students is I make them do a lot of stuff with React, a lot of components, a lot of logic with React, and then when they get overwhelmed by it because React is limited, they have to learn Redux, okay? That's when they actually understand why Redux is important. And probably if you are someone that's doing tutorials or maybe you finished a bootcamp, you are still overwhelmed by Redux. The reason why you are overwhelmed by Redux is because you don't know what you have to do with it. Okay, so let's recap this whole thing. You need a real world application. Then the next thing that you need is to know how to work in a team, and probably you'll hear this question in an interview. Okay, have you worked in a team? What they are actually asking you is, do you know how to work with Git? Now, my students are not working in a team, but they are working with Git. Why are they asking you, do you know how to work in a team, rather than do you know how to use Git? Well, because if you work in a team, you'll be using Git. That's the trick. You know, they want to see if you catch it, if you catch that question. And the way that you have to work with Git is by doing the following things. Never push to master. All right, create a branch for each feature that you're making, open a pull request, have a senior developer review your code. Then if everything is fine, then you can merge to master. Okay, so that's the process that you have to follow in order to know how to use Git. But from what I've seen is most self-taught developers, they're just coding by themselves, which isn't gonna help you at all. Or if you finish the bootcamp, you've been working with other juniors and you actually have like very little to no apps in your portfolio. I was reading a post of I think it was a girl or a guy, I don't remember, but that person posted on LinkedIn the fact that they've started applying for jobs, and he or she just started learning about APIs. And I'm like, this is weird. You should know how to work with APIs. And then I checked, he or she finished a bootcamp and they actually never touched working with APIs. So how do you expect to work in a real world environment without knowing how to work with an external API? That's a bit strange to me. But anyway, I was talking about degrees, right? So you don't need a degree, but you need to know how to work in a professional environment. You should be able to hit the ground running, okay? That's what people are looking for. That's why there are no junior jobs available, right? Because people want someone with experience. Imagine if your toilet explodes and there is dirty stuff everywhere. Do you want someone without experience to solve your problem, or do you want someone with experience to solve that problem? Obviously, you want the problem sorted out fast, quick, and clean, all right? But if you're a junior, you cannot do that. So you have to overcome this barrier by knowing a lot of things already before you get into the industry. And you have to understand that this sector, even though it's very welcoming for beginners, there are a lot of people, all right? And there is a big competition. You are competing with people that have 3, 4, 5, 10 years of experience, okay? And to be able to beat those people, all right, or to be able to stand out, you need to make sure that your applications are good. Otherwise, you might have to go to university, okay? You might have to go to university, study for 4 years, waste 4 years out of your life, spend maybe $100,000 on how much it is to go to university, and then you'll still start from a junior role. But if you do the right things, you can bypass that, get hired, and then by the time someone else is finishing university, you are already a senior developer. You're already having all the benefits. You're already having the money, the time freedom, the location independence, right? So you have to think about it like that. You have to think about your skill set like an investment, like a businessman, all right? You might be trading some money to get the skill, but then that skill is going to pay you dividends in the future, right? Maybe not in the next 6 months, but maybe in a year, in 2 years, and definitely in 5 years, okay? And you need to learn how to seize an opportunity when you see it, right? If you're watching this video right now, probably you remember that a few months ago, Bitcoin dropped to like 30K or something like that. A lot of people scared, they panicked, right? They live in scarcity mode. They didn't buy the dip, right? Right now, the Bitcoin, when I'm recording this, is $41,000, all right? Imagine that 25% return in just a couple of months. And that's how your skill set works as well. Sometimes you have to make some sacrifices in the short term to gain in the long term, all right? You need to overcome your fear. And another thing that I want to tell you about building real-world projects is that you need to get bored with building real-world projects, okay? You need to be tired of them. When you'll say, I'm tired of building this project because I've been building this project for the past 3 months, 6 months, then that means you are ready to land your first dev job. You have to build that endurance. You have to build that muscle where when you feel like, I just want to get over it, that's when you have to push, and that's when you have to create something more complicated, and you have to add more, you have to come up with more complex ideas. If you're by yourself, the way I do it with my students is I have like designs for everything, I have requirements for everything, you know, so it's way easier for them. But if you're by yourself, you need to think about what would you do if you'd be a developer. And I know this is a very difficult question to answer because you don't know how to be a developer, otherwise you'd be a developer already. So yeah, this is my rant for today. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned a lot. If you have any questions or if you have any video suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Like this video if you're watching. If you're still watching, subscribe for more content like this. And if you want to work with me directly and you want to skip all these YouTube videos, all this time that you're basically wasting, you could have actually worked on your portfolio right now, then you can apply for a free consultation call. There is a link in the description. Click it, watch the video. There is a short video there. Then apply for a free consultation call, choose a time and a date, and I'll show you how to get really good at code really fast. Until next time, Christian.